Prostate cancer metastasis. Definition. Prostate cancer is one of the most common types of cancer in male. Prostate cancer usually grows long and initially remits comes to the prostate gland, where it may not cause serious harm, while some types of prostate cancer grow slow and may need minimal or no treatment or the time and aggressive and can spread quickly.
My name is Shiv Bhanot. I'm a urologist and I work at King George Hospital in East London. Prostate cancer can be divided into different stages. It can be within the prostate, we call it early, or localized, locally advanced, or it may be cancer which has spread to far off places, which we call metastatic prostate cancer. Advanced prostate cancer, we have two aims of treatment. First and foremost is to keep the symptoms under control. And the second aim we have is to keep the cancer under control. Now, all treatments have their side effects. And if a man has already got cancer which has spread to other parts of the body, then it's important that we keep the quality of life as good as we can.
My name is Patrick Williams. I'm 61 this year and I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. Everybody wanted to help quite a bit. I mean, my Macmillan nurse in particular was incredibly good because she was able to look at a lot of things, in terms of how I was able to cope with things and, cope with daily life and doing day-to-day work and doing day-to-day things.
In advanced prostate cancer, if a man seeks treatment for his advanced prostate cancer, then he can be given hormonal treatment, which will keep the cancer under control, bring his PSA down. The hormonal treatment will involve getting rid of male hormones from a man's blood. This can be done by giving tablets or by giving injections, which can be administered monthly, 3 monthly, on a yearly basis. If hormonal treatment fails, there are several treatments we can try. The first one to try is androgen withdrawal, stopping anti-androgen tablets if a man is taking those. There is a chemotherapy, and then we have new hormonal treatments which are often effective when the first line of hormonal treatment fails. We are not expecting a cure in advanced prostate cancer. What we are aiming to do is keep the cancer under control and treat the symptoms.
I've had to learn to live with it and I've had to find a coping mechanism. And being able to find that coping mechanism is my own path. I think everyone has their own pathway of how to deal with things. Some people have family that can support them through this. Some people have friends that are much closer. Mine was I had to use music, I had to use laughter, and I had to use my own strength and getting involved with Macmillan on a bigger scale. If you have information, information is a key. It gives you a certain degree of confidence, right, to face whatever it is.
Application in nursing. Nursing can focus on providing patients with accurate information to make informed decisions regarding treatment for existing disease and prevent cancer, and preventing and managing treatment in disease-related complications.
I am Ron Scalamero. I am 73 years old. I've lived most of my life south of Boston. Always had a very active life. Enjoy activities with my grandsons as well as my 5 sons. I was denied life insurance coverage because of my very high PSA. I had a PSA of 14, so that is what got me to see a urologist and the process where it was determined that I definitely had prostate cancer. It was 18 years ago. I was 55 years old at the time. I was literally numb to what the news was. At 55 years old, that was the last thing on my mind, if it was on my mind at all. I was numb to the extent that I drove by the exit where I lived off the highways several times and had to turn around and come back to my exit. Times are different now, certainly, but at the time that I was diagnosed, I felt that people would think that I had received a death sentence. A local urologist, he said I had a maximum of 5 years to live because of the severity of my cancer. I did not want my life to change because of this diagnosis. I consciously tried to live my life without any change to my lifestyle or anything else. I continued my activities, I continued my business. My initial treatment, which was hormone therapy as well as external beam radiation between the years 2000 and 2001. And for 5 years, it didn't show up. And at the end of 5 years, my PSA started to rise. So I elected to have this surgery in 2006. And after 12 or 13 months, my PSA appeared. Post-prostatectomy, you're not supposed to have any kind of a PSA reading. And I found myself in a position where, in fact, there was no treatment available. I was at the point of deciding whether I wanted to be a participant in a clinical trial. One of my team members at Mass General, who was the lead physician in apalutamide, I joined the phase 2, which is the sweet spot. There are no placebos. I was extremely lucky. I tolerated the drug very well, although I did have some significant side effects. I looked at those kinds of things as speed bumps. That was 6.5 years ago. I'm feeling great now. I still have side effects. I tolerate them very, very well. There's very few things that I can't do. As a matter of fact, I can't think of anything right now. So I feel super great right now. My attitude towards having this disease is at least as important as the treatments that I get. We were not going to let this disease rule our lifestyle, and as such, always had hope. With a cancer diagnosis, you can very, very easily get yourself down to the point where you're virtually helpless and you just can't go there. And you've got to have it in your mind constantly that you can live a normal life with it for as long as you can.
Pros and cons. Almost 40% of patients can't with advances at the heartbeat due to the idiosyncrasies of people. Many of those with are diagnosed early with a high probability of cure for sexual dysfunction and incontinence after treatment.
Targeting the Rankle pathway, putting the brakes on prostate cancer progression in bone. The spread of prostate cancer, PC, to bone represents a critical turning point in disease progression and occurs in 90% of lethal cases. A majority of patients with metastatic castration-resistant prostate cancer develop bone metastases, which may bring a significant risk of skeletal-related events. Continuous bone remodeling is essential for skeletal integrity and strength. Bone homeostasis describes the scenario when resorption and rebuilding are appropriately balanced. Osteoclasts and osteoblasts are specialized cells that exist within the bone microenvironment and display a yin and yang type of relationship, with osteoclasts breaking down bone while osteoblasts lay new matrix. In response to cytokines and hormones, osteoclast precursors mature, fuse, adhere to bone, and release resorptive enzymes that form pits in bone. Rankle-expressing osteoblasts are recruited by osteoclasts to bone resorption sites where they proliferate, differentiate, and release osteoid to form new bone matrix. In the setting of bone metastasis, a vicious cycle of bone destruction and tumor growth emerges as a consequence of tumor-induced dysregulation. Because excess osteoclast activity is a key mediator of SREs in metastatic cancer, osteoclast inhibition has emerged as a major bone protective strategy. Denosumab is a humanized antibody that blocks rankle binding to its receptor on osteoclasts. Osteoclast maturation is inhibited by the interference of rankle signaling, resulting in reduced bone resorption. Preclinical models demonstrated that denosumab improved bone density and volume by reducing resorption compared to bisphosphonates. Denosumab was also found to be superior in lengthening time to SREs and suppressing bone turnover.
Issue a plague in Ecuador. Prostate cancer is the most common in Ecuador. Men IB 2020, the National Tumor Register estimates that there will be 3,601 new patients with this disease. Prostate cancer has replaced gastric field of incidence and mortality in men.
Prostate cancer. Prostate cancer is the most commonly diagnosed cancer among men in the United States, excluding certain skin cancers. A common misperception about prostate cancer is that it is rarely fatal. In fact, it is the second leading cause of cancer-related death among men in the United States. While it is true that prostate cancer is largely curable when diagnosed and treated early, patients with advanced prostate cancer have a less favorable prognosis. Advanced prostate cancer is defined as cancer that has spread beyond the original tumor. The most recent statistics estimate that 3 out of 10 men are still alive 5 years after being diagnosed with advanced prostate cancer. Male hormones, such as testosterone, cause prostate cancer to grow and survive. Early treatments for prostate cancer attempt to lower levels of testosterone in the body. This is known as hormone therapy. However, prostate cancer tumors may eventually begin to grow again, even though levels of testosterone in the body are low. At this point, the cancer is considered to be advanced. Researchers are studying why this occurs to gain a better understanding of how to develop treatments for prostate cancer. Talk to your doctor about questions you may have about advanced prostate cancer. Recent basic science and medical evidence suggest that one possible reason that tumors continue to grow is that they become extremely sensitive to the low levels of testosterone that surround them. In this way, tumors can grow even though there are extremely low levels of testosterone in the bloodstream. Additionally, studies done in both animals and humans show that the tumor may begin to produce its own supply of testosterone. This means the tumor is capable of fueling its own growth. In other words, in advanced prostate cancer, there is evidence to suggest that the tumor may be providing its own testosterone so that it can grow without depending on other sources of testosterone production. Talk to your doctor about new information regarding advanced prostate cancer.
Conclusion. Cancer originates when healthy prostate cell change and proliferate uncontrollably and form a tumor. A tumor can be cancerous or benign. Prostate cancer is unusual when compared to other types of cancer.
About 30,000 lives could be lost this year. That's the big deal. And that's just in the U.S. But let's back up a little bit. For every 6 men in the U.S., one of them is going to develop prostate cancer at some point in their lives. When a man is diagnosed with prostate cancer, there's no way of knowing right away how serious the disease could be. Estimated that about 240,000 new cases of prostate cancer will be diagnosed. What does the number 240,000 even look like? It's huge. The Superdome in Louisiana can seat about 70,000 people. 240,000 is more than 3 Superdomes filled with our fathers, sons, brothers, and uncles who will find out they have newly diagnosed prostate cancer this year. The thing is, many men with prostate cancer really don't feel comfortable talking about it. And what about the thousands of men who die every year from prostate cancer? Let's put that into perspective. People always say flying is a pretty safe way to travel, especially if you compare it to driving. According to the most recent statistics, the number of men who are estimated to die from prostate cancer in the U.S. is nearly the same as the number of people who die in a year in driving accidents. If cancers were in a competition, prostate cancer would win silver every year, as it's the second leading cause of cancer-related deaths among men. Men diagnosed with prostate cancer, 7 of them will have prostate cancer that doesn't come back after initial treatment. Unfortunately for the other 3 men, the cancer will come back and can be life-threatening. These 3 men are our fathers, our brothers, and our sons. So how can we help them? By spreading the word to be proactive and knowing the importance of talking to a doctor to determine if screening is right for them. PSA, or prostate-specific antigen, may be measured along with other clinical tests. PSA is a blood test and used as a reference marker for prostate cancer. The PSA result is individualized and changes may be clinically important. When that number starts rising or symptoms appear, these men and the people taking care of them need to talk to their doctor about their options. Ongoing research is leading to new treatment options, especially in advanced disease. Who should be talking about this? Everyone. Tell your dad, your brother, and your uncle, and encourage them to be proactive in talking to their doctor about prostate cancer. The word is spreading and has already made a difference. The more people you talk to about prostate cancer, the more men we might be able to help. Do your part to help thousands and share this video with friends and loved ones.